Hello. The Sigur MR100 series readers are compatible with all access control systems that support standard connection interfaces Wiegand and OSDP. Depending on the modification, the readers work with the following identifiers: contactless MI4 and M-Marine cards, bank cards, and mobile phones. Depending on the system used and the selected connection interface, the capabilities of the reader will also vary. Using Sigur software, the readers can be configured for light and sound indication, the reading range of mobile phones, programming to work with me for cards in secure mode, and much more. For instructions on how to make such settings, please refer to a separate video. To work with the readers, a free Sigur package is sufficient, which can be downloaded from our official website. During installation, the reader should be positioned so the same identifier does not fall within the detection range of multiple readers. It is recommended to install the reader on metal surfaces, near sources of radio interference, and power network cables. This reduces the reading range of identifiers, including the reading range of mobile phones. It is not advisable to install the readers in areas that are exposed to prolonged direct sunlight, as this may lead to overheating of the device. The choice of the appropriate reader-controller communication interface depends on the specific characteristics of the facility. For example, for small businesses and offices where there are few readers and no heightened security requirements, a classic Wiegand connection is suitable. The configuration of each reader is done using a master card or smartphone. For large facilities, where it is preferable to minimize the time and financial costs of system administration, it is better to use the OSDP interface. Since this interface is bidirectional, it allows not only for obtaining information about the read cards, but also for monitoring the status of the readers, as well as configuring the encryption and data exchange profile between the reader and the controller. Additionally, when using E2 model controllers, it is possible to connect up to 4 readers simultaneously, while using the Wiegand interface allows for only 2. OSDP is an open interface that allows developers to enhance or modify its functionality. This is what we did by creating the SSDP setting, which adds a number of advantages when sharing Sigur readers and controllers. For example, the ability to centrally update the firmware of the readers, configure their indicators directly from the software interface, and in the case of working with me for cards in secure mode, also the ability to manage security keys. Let's consider how to connect the reader using each of these interfaces. In general, between 4 to 7 wires are used for the connection. The black and red wires are for low voltage power. The green and white lines are for Wiegand or OSDP data. The blue, brown, and yellow lines are for controlling the light and sound indicators. The power supply for the reader should be taken from the designated terminals of the controller. Connect the red wire to the positive power supply and the black wire to the negative. For Wiegand interface, connect data transmission lines, green wire data 0 term, and white wire data 1 term. Optional indication lines may be used, the blue wire for terminal LAT1 and the brown wire for terminal LAT2. After connecting via OSDP, the client needs to go to the Equipment tab and navigate to the settings of the desired access point, explicitly specifying the port used to which the reader is connected. Then press OK to save the settings. The control lines for the controller's indication must be configured so that it sends short pulses to the corresponding terminals when access is granted or denied. This allows for a flexible configuration of the reader's indication with a standard connection via the Wiegand interface. Please refer to the separate video or documentation for your controller. In the case of the OSDP interface, the controller and all its readers are connected in series using a 4-wire cable, which includes 2 wires for the power supply of the readers, positive and negative, and 2 twisted pair wires for data transmission. There is no need to connect indication lines, as the reader will receive indication control commands via OSDP. Moreover, thanks to the capabilities of SSDP, the reader's indication can be configured even more flexibly, allowing it to respond to events related to security zones, breathalyzer tests, and many others. We discuss these capabilities in more detail in a separate video. By default, the MR100 readers are configured to operate using the Wiegand interface. To switch them to OSDP mode, use the Sigur Settings app available for mobile devices running the Android operating system. Open the Settings application and select the required reader from the list. In the open list, select the item connection settings. Upon the application's request, enter the service password, either the default Sigur or a custom value. Set operating mode of OSDP and set its data transmission speed and address. Speed options range from 9600 to 100 and 15,200 baud. All readers connected to the same controller must have the same speed. Addresses range from 1 to 127. Each reader has a unique address in the loop. If the reader is the first or last in the loop, it will also require the activation of a terminating resistor, known as the line termination. After entering all the settings, press the Apply button. Wait for the settings to finish loading. After that, the reader will be ready for operation. Now it's time to prepare the controller to work with the reader. To do this, we will open the Client program, go to the Equipment tab, and proceed to the controller settings. In the Settings editor, let's go to the OSDP Devices tab. We will set the data transmission speed similarly to that which was configured on the reader. We will specify the controller port that we are using for OSDP and the address of the reader on the loop. Let's ensure that the communication status with the reader is set to connected. Now let's select the Required Access Points tab and specify the port of the reader used. Click Apply EOC to save the settings. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention, and see you next time.